Ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, my name is Raven, and today we're going to be looking at the card system for Paragon. Whenever you very first start playing Paragon, one of the hardest things to wrap your head around is the card system. It's not as straightforward as you just buy one item and then the item does whatever the hell the item does. In this, the way the card system works is you have to buy an item and then you have to put other items into that item to buff it up. So you're upgrading cards within cards, and it gets a little confusing at the start. When you first play and you don't make an actual deck yourself, it just has an auto deck system, a generic one for all your characters. But today I'm going to show you how to actually build a deck. I'm going to show you what all the little stats do within the cards and the decks themselves. So that way you have a better understanding for when you actually jump in, and that way you can start destroying shit as soon as you get in, rather than trying to work it all out as you go along. So we're going to go to profile and we're going to make ourselves a deck. You start off with 5 that you can make, and then you can buy more decks over here for either Paragon Fun Bucks, or you can buy it for Reputation and Paragon Fun Bucks. But generally 5 is fine. You'll be switching out characters as you go along, and once you've got a full understanding of the system, you'll know exactly what you want and you'll know exactly what you're going to build, and it just makes it a lot easier. You can switch them out like on a fly. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. So we're going to create a deck right here, and we're going to make one for Twin Blast. So go create. Now you have to pick your prime. So what the prime is, basically you have this game's version of Baron. When you kill him, instead of getting Baron buff, you get whichever one of these that you picked. Okay, so the first one, the Warlord one, you get a whole bunch of power, which gives you damage on your spells and your attacks. You get 100% damage bonus, and you'll buff the minions around you. You got the Centurion, which gives you a fuckload of health, fuckload of damage, and you'll buff the minions around you with health. And you get the Archmagus, however you want to say it. You'll get damage, and then you basically buff the minions to deal damage against structures. Okay, I always go for the Archmagus because usually by the time Baron kicks in and you go and kill him, it's near the end game, and you just absolutely fucking melt towers with this thing. So we'll click that one. You can pick whichever one you want though. Now, one thing I have to say before we get into this, most of these cards you'll get from opening up card packs. Okay, so you'll get card packs from either buying them with Reputation, which you'll get after completing matches, or you can basically get them from just completing matches, just from playing. You'll get rewarded card packs at the end. You'll open them up and then you'll get cards. So there's a whole bunch of different type of cards. You got Fury cards, you got Growth cards, depending on whichever one your character is. So if we go over here, my character is a Fury Growth character. So the cards that we'll be able to use are 3 types. I'll be able to use Fury cards, I'll be able to use Growth cards, and Universal cards. So the grayed out ones right here, as you can see, it says Universal. Go with this one, it says Fury. If we scroll down, where's the Growth one? There we go, the green one, it says Growth. So only characters that are either Fury or Growth will be able to use these ones, and then the ones that are Universal, anyone can use no matter what they are. Like I said, the system's a little confusing, but once you get your head around it, it's completely fine. So I want to build Twin Blast. Now the Twin Blast uses lots of his, like I say, his basic attacks are really strong, and he's more of an auto attack monkey, and his spells just basically are there to help hit like a bus. Okay, so we want to build lots of crit and lots of damage and lots of attack speed on this guy. So how I would normally build him, like I said, your cards will definitely vary. It's random with the card system, so everyone will have different cards, but this is just a general build that I want to go. Power increases the attack damage of your basic auto attacks, and it also increases your spells damage. So that's like your AP, ability power. Okay, attack speed is standard what it is. It builds up your attack speed. And then if we go to there, you got health, which basically just buffs your health. You have health regen. You have basic armor, so you can buff your basic armor against auto attacks. You have mana regen as well. You have mana, so you can just increase your mana pool. And then you have crit and lifesteal. You can also have ability penetration. You can have armor penetration. Like I said, it's a very in-depth system for what you want to build. So right there, you have ability pen, and then you have ability armor. So that way you take less damage from abilities. Like I said, the system is very complicated on the face of it, but once you get an understanding of it, it's easy. So we're going to get our first item. I always go for, on my Fury characters, because I have it, Bump Juice. Okay, so this instantly restores health instead of the Universal Health Potion, which does a health regen over 15 seconds. This one just gives it to you straight away, so I'm going to get that one. And then what I go from here is I want to, like I said, build lots of attack power and lots of attack speed and crit. And lifesteal's really good as well, so I usually go for a mixture. So the way these cards work is you'll get your Madstone Gem. For this one, I'll add this. It's over here. When I hover over it, you can see there's 6 slots here. Okay, so we've got 6 slots. When I click on it, it'll bring up this. Okay, so this is where you get cards and you put them into cards. So on the face of this card, it does 12 power, which I'll get straight away. Once I fully upgrade the card, I'll get 5.5 attack speed. Now what I want to do for this card is I want to just pump 3 of these into it. Now you can only put 3 of these extra cards, upgrade cards, into a card. So I only ever put 3. So I know what I want, and then boom, boom, boom. So every time I put one of these cards in, they're going to cost me 3 cards in game for the card system, and then I'll get 18 power, okay, per one of these I put in. So I'll link and I'll add that. Now, as you can see, it gives me 12 off the bat. Once I put all 3 of these in at 18 apiece, I'll have a fuckload of ability power, and then I'll also get the fully upgraded bonus, which will give me 5.5 attack speed. So you have to upgrade your cards within the cards. A little confusing, but that's how it works. So then from there, I want to go for Berserker's Drive, which will give me some more power, some mana regeneration, and more attack speed. So we'll put that in. Now here, as you can see, it's a whole different. So only certain cards can go into certain cards. So for this one, I always just go 3 attack speed straight out. I've got these awesome cards that give 22 attack speed, and then I'm just shooting really fucking fast. It's awesome. So we'll go add that. So now, as you can see, I have my ability power card, I have my attack speed card, and both of them give a bit of attack speed and ability power within their own rights, okay? So now I want some lifesteal, because lifesteal is fucking overpowered and awesome. So Brand of the Iron Eater gives me crit and lifesteal, so this thing is really good. I want this, so boom. And then I got right here the choice to put in lifesteal or just flat out crit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is for this card, I'm going to make this my crit card. So I'm going to go, because I already get the extra lifesteal bonus for fully upgrading it. So I'm going to go 3 crit. So every time I do this, I get 12 crit. They'll give me a fuckload of crit, and I'll end up with 5, 6, 7, 7.5 lifesteal, which is quite nice. So we'll link and add. Alright, so now we want to keep building on that crit, and we want to go for some ability power as well, and some attack speed. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go for the micro nuke, which will give me some more attack power, which will buff my spells, some more crit, and then when you fully upgrade it, some more power. So we'll add that. And then when we go into here, all we can put in really is some minor crit, or we can go for some ability power. So we're going to go more ability power. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, because ability power is the one you want to focus on the most, because it basically empowers your abilities so they do more damage overall. So you start nuking people once you get later on in the game. At this point, it's up to you whether you want to start putting in some more defensive items or utility. Me personally, I just like building glass cannon. I just like absolutely destroying shit, and I let my skill as a player take over where I need to back, try and get out of things. Like I said, if you run around the corners, 4 guys there, generally you're fucked depending on what character you play. You can't help that. For my damage characters, I like to just go full attack speed, full crit, full lifesteal, and just full damage. I just like going balls to the wall, screw the fence. That's just my type of playstyle. But if you want, you can mix this up with different types of, like, you know, health cards, mana cards, all those sorts of things depending on what you're playing. Now, one thing I have to add, in game you'll generally have I think it's 1 and 6, I think it's like 6 or so slots or 7 slots where you can put items. So I usually get my 1 bump juice, and then I'll put 6 of these items in, because generally by the end of the game it ends before you get to max out your entire inventory, let's say. So what I'll generally do is I'll just put 6, I'll put my whatever consumable I have, and then I'll put 6 equipment cards, and that's it. So moving on, we're going to see what else we can chuck in. So we're going to add over here the Hunger Mole, and then we're just going to go full lifesteal. So that one there is going to give me a whole bunch of lifesteal, and once I fully upgrade it, I get 100% crit bonus. That's very nice. Now keep in mind the numbers next to the cards, okay? So the 2 next to the Madstone Gem means that in game you have the card system where as you kill minions and characters, you'll fill up and you'll get cards to spend on these. So I call them card points, okay? The Madstone Gem itself costs 2 card points to get, and then every one of these upgrades is 3 card points. I got the 2 here, and that's an early card. And you got the 3, which is the middle card, and 6 is the later on card. So keep that in mind. If you want to grab one of these ones right here, which is like 20 lifesteal and 150 health off the bat, it's going to cost you 10 cards, so you're not going to be getting this unless you just gimp yourself early on to save straight up for it. Later on, you'll be getting heaps of cards, and you can sort of like get it straight away, but like I said, it's more of a way later card than the early one. So you want to make sure that you stack yourself out with middle of the range cards, i.e. 3s and 4s. That way, you know, you can pump them out a lot more, and you can like peak your sort of your abilities damage earlier on where you're going to be using it the most rather than later on. Because once you get later on, everyone's overpowered as fuck, and everyone's like 3 hitting each other anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we got one more card. What we're going to do here is we're going to go for a second Berserker's Drive. And like I said, we're going to put some more attack speed, but this time I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 attack speed. I'm going to put the last of this major strike in. So that way this one here is going to be a bit of my hybrid card. It's going to have a lot of attack speed and a lot of basically ability damage. That right there is my build for Twin Blast and how I'm going to set up this guy. So as you can see, I have my off the bat heals, so that way instead of during those skirmishes where you're punching on with people, I can just pop this and instantly gain health. Instead, they're going to be regenerating it over time, so it's going to be better for dueling earlier on. So here I got a lot of ability power to increase the damage of my spells and auto attacks. I got lots of attack speed as well as ability power on my berserker drives. I have a whole bunch of crit on my brand of the Iron Eater as well as some lifesteal. Some more ability power on the micro nuke as well as crit, and then a whole bunch of just lifesteal and crit on the hunger mole. So I'm going to be attacking very fast. I'm going to be hitting like a truck, and I'm going to be basically regenerating a whole bunch of health as I attack things as well. You can't go wrong. When I very first started, it was a bit of a pain. I was going mainly for just basically ability power and health and stuff, but what I noticed is if you build crit and lifesteal and attack speed and ability power, if you just like get a mixture of all that in there, you hit like a bus, and you're keeping yourself sustained as you're hitting like a bus, and you're critting as well, so you're hitting even harder than before, and you're attacking insanely fast. Like I said, especially on auto attack monkeys like Twin Blast, this is the best thing to do, because the faster you can attack, the more damage you can put down range, and the faster shit die. And there it is, guys, my quick tutorial for how to build a deck and the card system in general. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It always helps. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you have any questions, if you didn't understand something, if you want something clarified. Whatever you need, just ask me and I'll get back to you. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. I shall see you all in the next video. Have a good one, guys.